I want to clarify your answer to Stephen Nelson. He asked about your comment calling the president a fascist, and your answer was, both President Trump and I have been clear about our positions and our views. Are you affirming that you think President Trump is a fascist?
I've spoken about...
That's okay, you can just say yes. Okay. It's easier. It's easier than explaining it. I don't mind.
President Trump and New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani shocking both the left and the right following a friendly Oval Office meeting after months of attacks. For more, let's bring in Tennessee Republican Congressman Tim Burchett. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us in the Sunday briefing. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
What was your reaction to seeing the president all smiles with Mamdani? I think it shocked a lot of people, but the other concern, the subtext of that is, does his sort of embrace of him, at least in that moment, at all harm Republican plans for the midterms and their messaging to tie Democrats to Mamdani's dangerous socialist policies?
No, ma'am. As a matter of fact, it does just the exact opposite. I think President Trump is the negotiator in chief. I think he sees that a lot of the great people in New York have left there. They've come to Tennessee, obviously, a lot of them have, but a lot of the good people can't get out. And I think he sees working with him is better than trying to destroy New York. And Mamdani will destroy it on his own. It won't be Trump's doing. And frankly, I think it was a great move strategically and otherwise, because both sides are scratching their heads. And we used to say in Nashville, if both sides are a little uneasy, it's probably a pretty good thing. And I think Trump sees it. New York is a center of commerce, not for this country, not for New York, but for the world. And Trump sees that. And I think he wants to save that. And I applaud him for it.
There has, though, been, some scrutiny over this split screen, because while on the one hand you see the president, opening the door to Zohran Mamdani and for whatever reason having a very cordial meeting, on the other hand you see him going pretty publicly after Marjorie Taylor Greene, who for a long time has been one of his most staunch supporters. Here's what the president said. Do we have that sound bite?
Are you willing to forgive Congresswoman Taylor Greene? Forgive for what? No, I just disagreed with her philosophy. She started backing perhaps the worst Republican congressman in our history, just stupid person named Massey, and I said, go your own way. And once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived the primary.
So there's been some reporting about, the deep dive on why their relationship frayed. Some people are saying that the president didn't support her larger political ambitions, and that soured the relationship. There are other people who point to her very vocal support to release the Epstein files. You have been on the side of some issues that put yourself, at loggerheads with the White House. The Epstein files, now this congressional stock trading ban, which I want to ask you about next. But my question is, do you think that there's room in the party for members who don't agree with the president on everything?
There's always room, man. That's the difference between us and the Democrats. They use the, as I like to say, the stick and the carrot. They reward you with the carrot, or they beat you over the head with the stick, and that's why they always vote in unison, and they never would allow a bill up until they had all their people whipped into place or bought off legally, I guess, or whichever way they do it.
The Republican Party,
man, that's our strength. Really, is our. Well, not as far as we know, but because they get them in line, and that's what they do, and they know they'll be ostracized, they'll be outed. I can remember a young lady who was who I came to Congress with, and she got in a little bit of mess, and they all patted her on the back and said, "Oh, we love you," and then all of a sudden she drops out, and it was pretty clear that they'd gone to her and said, "Get out, or you're going to get destroyed." And that's the way they do it. They do it better behind closed doors, and we don't. We're vocal, and I think that's part of our strength. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the Beatles broke up for creative differences. I'm in the South, so thank goodness Leonard Skinner never broke up for creative differences. But people are going to argue; they're going to have differences. But I mean, President Trump's the biggest dog in the pound, ma'am, and you can take him on if you want, but the results are always the same.
Okay.
It's really. He's always great. I mean, Burchett is such a likable guy. He comes on. He's always on Benny's show. He's always wearing the Carhartt, and just a very, very likable character. And obviously he's very smart. He's very quick. And he breaks it down in a way where it's like a typical politician, where he doesn't really give up much, but he gives you a nice story to make you feel better about what's going on. I mean, obviously he knows, I'm sure, way more about what's going on with MTG, with what the hell's going on with her. I mean, her dropping out is a massive, massive bombshell. I mean, it's crazy. It is crazy. The fact that she's not going to run for re-election. She's going to drop out. That's going to leave that's going to leave the majority way more thin than it is even currently. But yeah, man, it's an interesting ride. And again, Burchett is very good at this. If you ever catch him on the Benny Show or anywhere, he's just fantastic. Let's see where else he goes with this here.
Okay, so about the stock trading ban, what kind of reception are you getting from the White House on this, and how likely is it that this comes to the floor for a vote?
Very vocal support by President Trump. I believe they've probably done some polling to show that it's one of the best polling things. I think Representative Luna told me it polls better than anything else in the country right now. And let's just face it. Congress is crooked as a dog's leg, ma'am. It is infinitely broken. And will this bill pass? Probably not, but I'm not going to quit. I keep swinging for the fence on it. And too many people are getting rich. I mean, the average stock trader in Congress is making something like 600% return. Dadgum, do like I do. Get you a mutual fund with my buddy Tommy Seiler up there, and you do pretty well with it. You can sleep at night. But the way it's both parties. It's bipartisan support. Me and AOC are together on something. I mean, that's just hell just frozen over. But we are, but it's bipartisan disagreement on it too. Because you look at the war in Ukraine. Look at our missile defense system. We gave under Biden gave Ukraine our missile defense system. Well, guess who owns stock in a lot of those missile defense systems, ma'am? Members of both parties. And from what I understood, some people bought it just weeks prior. Now, look, if you're making 600% on your returns, you ought to go to Wall Street and get out of Congress.
Yeah,
and
something's up if your trades are beating Warren Buffett.
I make skateboards. Yes, ma'am. I make skateboards, and I gave one to Tulsi Gabbard. Now everybody all over the country wants one. I go talk to ethics about because I'm a capitalist. I thought, dadgum, I'll sell a few skateboards. I don't sleep at night, so from midnight to 4 in the morning, I work on them. And I go to ethics, and they're like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. So you're telling me if I want to sell skateboards, I got to hire an attorney. But if I want to do insider stock trading, go to Congress. And that is exactly what's going on. Both parties are involved in it. We'll pass something probably pretty strong, and the Senate will pass something different. But we'll never come to an agreement. President Trump and the Treasury have both been vocal supporters of this from day one.
All right. Well, we will continue to watch it. Congressman Tim Burchett, thank you very much for joining the Sunday Briefing, sir.
He's always great. Always a great listen. Tim Burchett. Maybe I'll move to his state, wherever that is. You know what that is, by the way. Drop that down in the comments. I'm looking to move in the next couple of years, so we're open to suggestions. I'm not really sold on anything right now. I'm pretty sure he's from Tennessee, but want someplace warm, not too cold. I'm not a big cold guy. I'm done with the New York scene, so but yeah, he's always great. I really, obviously, it's saying that Congress shouldn't trade on stocks to the average person is like saying, we should help children. It seems like the most obvious thing, and obviously it's going to have massive support from the average people, but from the people that are making 600% returns, that are actually the ones that are voting, not gonna be very appealing to them. But guys, thank you so much for joining me. Please hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. 6283 Talk on the X if you want to follow me on X. This is SotoCast. I am John Soto, and I'll see you again on the next video. Take care, guys.